Welcome to JB Trio Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Christopher Woodmansey.
Mark the Ancient Warrior Merchant.
And joining us tonight is the man of the hour, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, the guy that bowled Bowler of the Week the last week of the summer that counts. He bowled 746 with 95 pins over his average. He really wanted to prove his point against Chris and Mark, who picked against him. We have tonight with us Mr. Neil Brady.
Well, thank you, Lee. You're much too kind, Lee. You're much too kind. I'm going to forward all these compliments to my wife, though, to know she's married to such a great guy.
Does she know when you go into the house, greatness has entered the house?
Yeah. He does? Really?
Do trumpets go off when the door opens?
What are you doing out so late? What are you doing, hanging out with that bum merchant again? Get your ass home next week. Okay, honey, sorry.
You should just say it, but baby, I'm a winner.
Yeah.
He needs to listen to this, and she needs to know the godlike status that you're at the bowling alley.
Yeah, all she cares about is how much money did you win tonight?
Yeah.
Give me that money. Show me that money right now. Okay, honey. Sorry. Here you go.
I think we ought to roll out the red carpet for you this upcoming Tuesday because you really proved a point.
Wait,
And...
Neil, can't she hear you right now?
No, of course not.
Okay.
I'm in a spare bedroom of my house. That's why I'm talking like this.
I need to add her as a friend to make sure she gets this podcast.
Chris just gained a friend.
No, but you're right, Lee. I will say, though, yes, listening to the podcast at work, I was formulating my plan, about how I would bowl, how focused I would be. Fair enough, I knew Merchant picked against me also, but the way Chris handled his pick with, hey, the other team's been so great for the last 4 weeks, and they've just been on fire, and he just went on and on and on. So I said, okay, great. There's my motivation for this week. So
that's what it was.
Yeah, so thank you, Chris.
Chris motivates so many people. I mean,
he does.
All the kinds of bowlers that say, they find out they're going to bowl Chris that night. I tell them where they're bowling. I say, you're bowling Chris? Oh, man, I'm really going to kick that guy's ass. And, he brings out the best in everybody.
I do. I try my best.
You're a motivator, Chris.
Yeah, people say that. Mm-hmm.
Well, Neil, you did great. You and Kyle took first place. You guys were in the playoff against Team 7. It's been a while.
Kyle did his part.
Yes, he did.
582, like for him, it's actually good.
It was a team effort that night because the second game, Neil faltered a little bit, had a couple of back-to-back opens. They had 2 turkeys, and it was coming into the 9th. I was looking over because they were bowling right next to me. I said, well, this is Tammy and Joe's opening. Neil's faltering, and Kyle had a good game going, but Kyle needed to keep it up.
Yeah,
sure enough, he finished out with 240, and you guys ended up winning that second game too.
Yeah, but that second game is what counted because Neil shot horribly with the 201 the second game, and then Kyle kept him up alive with that 240.
Do you like to remind Neil that he shot horribly that game?
Yeah, the second game.
So that is true.
So then Neil said, you know what? The hell with this. I'm just going to punch out with the first 10. So he gets up, throws 10 in a row. Or was it 9 in a row?
Yeah, the first 9 I left. I don't even know. 7 pin? Yeah, I think it's 7 pin.
Something like that, yeah.
But Lee, I was going to mention, I was thinking back on this. I thought to myself, I've never actually won the JB Trios League. Merchant and I, the first year we ever bowled with Kyle, we finished second to Ken Johnson and his guy, Cheryl and whoever else was bowling. But in reality, you and I and your dad, I think we won the summer in like 2012 or something.
Yeah,
that's the first time I ever bowled with you.
I remember.
And I think we won. I think I'm pretty certain we won the league.
That was a little bit of a stacked team. I think we averaged 7.
Yes. Yeah, it was. It was pretty rough for the other guys. Yeah.
But yes, I remember that. It was a lot of fun. That was back when I was averaging my 220 days. I did actually average that at one point in my life. We ended up winning that league that summer, so that was a lot of fun. So you all ended up winning 36 out of 40 points. I mean, it was like a statement victory. It was that.
Yeah, what helped us a lot was the lanes being dry again. I mean, I can usually ramp up on dry lanes, and I knew it would be harder for Tammy. She's a heck of a bowler. I was like, if there's more oil out there, that's going to be her game.
And I was determined to make sure that you guys were staying on 19 and 20 because the center had a lot of lane issues. Of course, the early shift had a lot of late bowling. They ended up having to move 4 of our pairs down. Instead of having the whole league shift, I just wanted to have half the league flip-flop to the other side. So we ended up all bowling in the middle of the house, but I wanted to make sure you guys were still good on 19 and 20 because you guys were, that was the most important pair in the league. So I wanted to make sure you guys were not affected and may the best person win. So, and you guys definitely did.
And then he didn't give a shit about everybody else.
That's probably true.
But
well,
you guys
thankfully,
it was a hard-fought match.
Well, you know what? The only thing that saved us, we bowled Jared, and his buddy.
Yeah.
They had to do the post bowl about 3 weeks ago or so, and we went 40-0 against them, and we were 62 points behind.
Yep.
So that 1 week got us within 20 or so. So if it wasn't for that week, and I told Jared, if it wasn't for that week for any of us, we wouldn't have caught them. So that week was huge for everybody. So
didn't you guys bowl them in the playoff? Wasn't they your first match?
Correct. Yeah.
So the 2 losses, they had only 2 losses the whole summer, and it was that post bowl against you guys, and it was heads up against you guys. So you guys beat the first place team, the only team that won their points against every other team in the league except you guys.
Wow.
And just think, if you had bowled me and Ron, you would have never been in the top 4.
That's true. That's true.
Never bowled us.
We had 14 teams, so there's just a few teams that didn't get to bowl each other because it's only a 14-week schedule. Since we got to throw in a position round in there and a playoff week, there's certain teams that don't get to bowl each other, and Mark's team couldn't bowl Neil's team this year. So, I mean, it's still a hell of a feat, though. And of all the teams that you had to sweep was that first place team, that Pinstripes team, and you did it. And they even talked about it the next week. I actually bowled them 2 days ago. They were still talking about it. I mean, Jared was hopping mad. He said, if you're not first, you're last. And, I mean, it looked like it affected him all week.
Yeah, you're right, because I heard him. Yeah, he was along the same lines of being motivated because of that. Agreed. Well, he can blame Chris. So once again, Chris always keeps me motivated to bowl my best. So almost like I knew Chris was going to bet against me even a week ahead of time. They're not going to be motivated all week ahead.
It's like chalkboard material. He threw out
exactly. Yes.
He said, "There's no way Neil's going to win," and that became
that's right.
Material. Wow.
Neil Brady will not win because he thinks he bowls really well against me and he has my number. So I'm just waiting the next time I can bowl the Woodman Z. See how I can get back at him. So
we'll have to have some money on the line.
We'll do like a grudge match thing. That's right, like they used to on MTV with the claymation.
Yeah,
we'll do like that grudge match.
Yeah, but in this case, it'll be young versus old, though.
Oh man, I'm not as old as the Ancient Warrior. The Ancient Warrior's got me by 10 years.
Fine, middle age.
I started bowling in this league when I was 38, 39. Okay. Merchant, what was our first year bowling in this league? Was it 2008?
Probably around that.
It's got to be around 2008 or so.
That's
maybe
crazy.
2000. Yeah, I think 2008.
I saw your buddy post a comment on Facebook, and he shared one of the newspaper articles that they did on you guys. What was that about?
Oh, yeah, that was my high school bowling team. So when I was a junior, my public high school I went to, we created a bowling team that was more of a club thing, but we bowled against other area high schools, and we ended up winning the league first year out. And I guess I was the captain of that team. And so, yeah, we got put in like the school newspaper and everything. And then, of course, people are like, we have a bowling team? I didn't even know we had a bowling team. So, yeah, we had 2 seniors on that team. We had 3 juniors and then 2 sophomores. And the next year, we would have repeated again, except for one of the guys had bad grades, and so they ended up taking points away. So we would have won 2 years in a row. So.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, I remember on Chris Probe back on episode 1 when you were our first guest for the summer, you had mentioned that you guys formed a high school bowling club. So it's pretty cool to see a picture of your guys' high school days. Now, what year would have that been in?
Yeah, that would have been 86 and 87.
Wow.
And I initially bowled on I went to a Catholic high school the first 2 years, and I made that bowling team as a freshman. with seniors and juniors and sophomores. And so I already had 2 years of high school bowling under my belt. Yeah, and there was probably maybe like 12 teams. I'm not sure it was super. The highest average in that league back then was probably 195, 200. I mean, that's when urethane was just kind of coming into its own. And,
Jeez,
Yeah.
man. If I remember right on that Chris Probe segment, you said that you'd bowled a 300. Was that in that high school league?
No, it was at the same bowling lanes though. No, it would have been the state tournament in whatever, the spring of '87.
Jeez.
So same bowling lanes, but no, I never shot it in that league. But my team, to tell you how good we were, even for back then, I think we shot 33 something. I can't. It was a record by far back then. So we had two guys shoot over 700. I shot 690 something. So we had like 720, 710, a 690 something out of me, a 660 out of another guy. And then what we did is we had a rotation where the two lowest scorers every game would have to sit out, and then two guys would replace them. So I remember my buddy, the first game, my buddy Toby, he shot 195 and he was low man that game and he had to sit out and he was furious. But that's because all of us, so we shot scratch 3,300 and change, and we were all like 16 and 17 years old, over 30 years ago. So yeah,
Wow.
that was by far the best score that I'm not sure everybody had ever bowled that good. Maybe nowadays, of course, but not back then.
So, for my information about your bowling in high school, for one, I wasn't even born or conceived yet. So,
What year were you born, Chris?
93. So,
Oh my God.
You weren't even a thought back then.
so I wasn't even thought. So that's one thing. But how hard is it to bowl up and in at that time? I mean, it couldn't be that hard.
So you're
To bowl
saying
up
they
it-
bowled good because
Yeah,
they...
didn't y'all have to bowl up fives and just ball just slowly move to the pocket?
That's how they bowled today.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's that easy. I will say leverage weight helped a lot. So back in the day, which of course would be illegal starting now,
Yeah.
everybody started putting a hole in their ball to make it leverage to obviously really make the ball hook quite a bit. But
Yeah, because there was no hook
yeah.
back then. So just basically throw as fast as you can to the pocket.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to understand is it's harder now to hit the pocket than it was back in your time.
No, it wasn't.
No,
We were
It's
we
hard
were
to
bowling
carry.
on wood planks back.
we were
in the
bowling
day.
on wood lanes, which dried up
Yeah.
much faster than, in my
Yeah.
opinion, than any synthetic. So,
Yeah,
Chris,
they-
let's put it this
yeah.
way: the wood lanes every summer. I mean, I don't know a bowling alley that didn't do this. They had to strip the lanes, so they actually the house I bowled in started was 56 lanes, so they had to strip the lanes down every summer and re-put all the finish on them every single summer. So
Yep.
that's like redoing your floors in your house every single summer. So, dude, it sucked. And then the heads,
approaches. I hate
yeah,
it when they
and
did
the heads would
approaches.
get burnt up, and the heads would get all dinged because people are throwing the ball into, and the lanes are hard, but not as hard as the synthetic. So you'd get divots all the time, and it was just not good, man. Yeah.
We're moving our way to string bowling.
Maybe
gonna
we'll
be the next
upgrade to
thing.
like their candlestick bowling.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Hey.
string bowling.
They still do that out in Massachusetts.
yeah.
Did you ever do that,
Dude,
Mark?
candlestick bowling is
Candlestick?
fun.
Oh yeah,
Candlestick
I
bowling
did.
is fun.
I used to bowl in the league. I loved it.
Really? How about
Yeah.
that? What would you average?
Like a 20.
About 98.
That's good
so-
though for candlestick or
No, it's actually
candlestick or
bad.
duck
It's
pin?
actually bad because you get 3 balls per round. So I don't know how you get 98.
98. I would say a 98 average is probably equivalent to 190s.
Yeah,
Big,
that's pretty
big
good.
10 pin.
So then, just to finish off where the rest of the league, my team stunk, which I'm glad I picked against me. I don't think I had a person pick me last week. We went 6-34 against the Pinstripes. They kicked our butt. Team 11 against Team 8. Team 11 tied them. Elena bowled her dad, Greg, and they just ended up bowling kind of mediocre, although Elena bowled a little bit above her average. They ended up going to 20 out of 40. Team 13, Brian and Christian, bowled team number 6, LPC, and they won big, 138, and that put them at a much higher position. Team 2, my sons, Leland and Peyton, they bowled Ron and Mark again, and they got their butts whipped this time. They only took 2 out of 40 against Mark and Ron.
Well, look, I blame my grandmother. She jinxed them.
She
did.
go
She
sit
jinxed
down
them.
with them.
She sat down with them, jinxed them, and then she walked away. And the next thing you know, Peyton had like a 7-bagger.
Then she came back,
And then she came back, and he went right downhill again.
He won the Woodmansey Award. He had 80 pin difference.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
235 to 149. Yep, it was crazy.
He
So-
was hitting it. She stepped away.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So then Team 14 bowled against Team 4, which is Chris, and Chris got the victory on that one. He won 29 out of 40 against his old proteges, Jake and Phil. They didn't take it easy on him at all.
Yes, sir.
To finish
Bloodbath.
it up, the Queens, they ended up taking 34 out of 40. They bowled technically the blind team, but they beat Joey's team 34 to 40. Position-wise, team we deliver, sure delivered. They won first place. They went 2 for 2 in the playoff, and so they're the league champions of the summer. Congrats to them. Second place goes to Team 7. It's been a while, Tammy and Joe. Third place was the Pinstripes, toughest team in the league, but they lost when it mattered, and they took third. Fourth place goes to the Mavericks. Brian and Christian jumped all the way up to fourth. Team 8 went to fifth. Team 6, the Unstoppable Forces, which is Elena and Ricky, they ended up in sixth. Pussy Whips, which we were up there, but we couldn't hold it. We dropped down to seventh. Team 3, we got Balls just right below us. Mark and Ron, they ended up in eighth. LPC in ninth. Average Joe's in 10th. Gutter Fluffers, my 2 sons, in 11th. Three Fingers, Jake and Phil, in 12th. Team 5, Joey's team, they're in 13th. And We Two Queens in 14th place. That finishes up the summer.
Not bad. Not bad.
And we kind of touched up on Chris Probes.
I do have just 2 questions. Neil, leading up to the victory of getting to first place and all that and bowling so well at the very end, you were off and on of being present in the progress of getting to first place. Do you feel that led you to getting first place without being here?
So I will say this: I am a man of stats. I do like my statistics, and so I hate to say it, but that is true. The 2 weeks that I did not show up, one time vacation, one time because of COVID, both of those weeks, Kyle ended up going 36-4 both weeks.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're right. It did a lot better. The simple fact that I wasn't there. So you're actually right. You know, you prefaced it in the beginning by saying the whole team was a little bit slow. We weren't doing quite as well. I wasn't doing as well. And then we made a good push, a run at the end. Like my wife knows, I'm a slow starter, but when I get going, watch out. You know, that's how it goes. So you could talk to her about that. So
Okay.
yes, I may start slow, but I'm a good finisher.
I hope she listens to this.
Yeah,
I'll have her listen to it.
yeah. It's not how about the stride, it's how long it lasts. I gotcha.
Yes.
And didn't you tell me the other night, Neil, that you made a goal for yourself when you were out? You came back and you had a goal for your average?
Oh, well, yeah, I did. From a personal perspective, I was trying for high average. Fortunately, I was able to do that. I did make a goal for myself, which I don't do very often. I thought the lanes were playable. I don't think they're easy lanes by any stretch. I've just been fortunate I've been carrying extremely well. I think I had 1 10-pin or maybe no 10 pins on Tuesday
Nice.
night. I can't even remember. It's rare that I leave a 10-pin, so I'm just fortunate. I mean, I got some good carry, some really good breaks, and really I've been able to do that the last 4 times I've bowled.
Yeah, you finished out with a 220 for the league. That's the highest average in the league. I would say probably, I don't see it on the list here, but probably.
I mean, I made third.
one of the-
Just want to get that out there.
You
I
did.
made third. I did make third. Okay.
Yes, you
I know.
did.
I know.
Behind Joey, but
Mark is nowhere on the freaking list. So just want to make that clear.
Yeah, it kills me. I'm staying behind the line.
yeah, you were saying just recently that you needed to start fouling to improve.
Man, I'm feet away from the foul line and taking 5 steps, and I'm still a foot behind it.
It really does improve your game, though. It really
I
You
does.
can't-
got to
improve.
try Chris's secret.
I
Yeah, it really
can't
does
fou-
improve your game. I
I'll
recommend
tell
it.
you, though, I can't foul if I try.
If you can get away with it, it'll improve your game by at least 20 pins.
Have you guys seen that guy in line who bowls backwards? where he
Oh, I've seen
stands.
that.
Yeah, he's a righty, but he throws it as if he's a lefty. He's got his back to the lanes, and he basically stands there and he kind of swings it, and then
Yeah.
he throws it. And he actually
Wow.
averages like 190 or 200.
That's what he
He's
said.
actually
Yeah,
pretty good.
Somebody interviewed him
Wow.
and said that's what his average is, around 200. And he says that
Yeah.
he started it off as a goof. Now it's the real deal.
That's crazy.
That was a few years ago, though. I wonder what he's doing today.
He's probably like that kid in Singapore. Remember the one who was smoking cigarettes when he was like 5?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Remember that kid? Remember the little chunky kid? But I heard he quit smoking, so kudos to him.
Oh, kudos
So,
to him. Yeah, he's one of the
yeah.
several memes that are out there. Not a lot of bowling memes.
All right. So last question.
Oh, jeez. Do I have enough lube for this? I wasn't ready.
Well, I only have 2 questions. You already answered the first one. So
Okay.
okay. You said you were getting your mindset ready since you heard the podcast. You heard the votes and all that shit. When in the action on Tuesday night, when you were taping yourself up, prepping your shoes, getting your shoes on, in that moment, what was going through your head? Nothing? Or what were you thinking about? Or were you trying to keep distracted? Because I know I saw you a couple of times and you looked like a freaking bat of the hell. You didn't want to mess with nobody. You were focused on your game.
Well, I don't know the Lopez's, and no offense, but I wasn't going to make friends before we started bowling. So I'll make friends with you after, but not before we're bowling. And so, we all wished each other luck before we started, but that was as friendly as I was going to get before we went. I knew he could really bring it. I mean, Tammy can too, but I know Joe can bring it too. It seems like every week, there's a lot of people in the league who every week have it, that one big game. They'll pull out a 250, 260 something. And so I was trying to weather the storm of that. Even bowling Jared the week before, I knew that there's going to be a big score because we got a lot of good bowlers in the league. And so the big scores come. The key is, can you weather it and don't have it knock you down? That was the big thing. I was just like, if I start off well, and see, that's the key is the last 2 weeks, Kyle and I think we're up 100 to 120 pins after the first game. And so after that, it kind of deflated both other teams. It just did. Now they got this mountain. In addition to beating us the next 2, you're going to have to make up the pinfall, and that's probably going to be hard to do. So, plus you guys keep failing to recognize, because it's not easy to see. Tracy Howell is my good luck charm. She's about a 410, maybe 411 lucky charm. Yeah, I think I need to make a miniature and then put it on a chain. Because every week she showed up, Chris, I am not joking. I forget how many weeks she showed up. I must be averaging 220 to 230 every week she showed up.
Easy.
Yeah, she was a good luck charm, no doubt.
I'm glad that you guys bowled the Lopez's, because it was obvious that if there's any team that mirrored you guys, it was them. So you always want to see the 2 really good teams face off in the finals in any league. Being able to watch you guys, bowling next to you guys, the niceties were up until the handshake, but then after that, I mean, you guys just flipped the switch like a lot of good bowlers do. They just went in 2 very competitive teams. I know Tammy's really competitive. You guys all shook hands once you guys started with that first practice ball in the lanes, and just even during practice, you could feel the tension build up. But you guys, I think you guys had an edge a little bit because you and Kyle were kind of playing on your home field. I know they play a lot at the Forum, so they don't really get a chance to bowl out here in Louisville a lot. I just think that, like you said, that early lead built up real quick. They just had that big mountain to climb. And although they did look like they had a glimmer of hope in that second game, because I remember when I saw that back-to-back open, I was like, oh, crap. Well, I hope he doesn't choke. But then Kyle come through. He shot 240.
Yeah.
And struck out.
So
he did.
Were you stressing him out, Kyle, at all? Like, hey, Kyle, don't fuck up. I mean, were you saying anything like that to him at the start?
No,
or during
and I don't tell him how to bowl either. Honestly, I don't come to the bowling alley to be a bowling coach. I would never be a good one, but I don't tell him anything other than just motivation, right? Just, hey, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. But see, you guys also forget too that, and I made reference to it, I had Ray Mills on my side, right? I had Ray Mills watching over us. If we remember the movie Cannonball Run, when you had Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. in the Ferrari as fake priests, the comment was made, hey, they got God as their co-pilot. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Sammy Davis Jr. said to Dean Martin, where's he going to sit, right?
That's right.
So,
That's what happened.
so we had God sitting there, or God in Ray Mills as our visiting angel. He's on our shoulder, whatever he's doing. So it was his power that saw us through. I'm keeping that in my bowling bag. I'm not giving up on Ray. So Ray's staying with
good.
me.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So
staying
the
with me.
picture.
I'm guessing this movie came out before I was born, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was about 1981 or 80, something like that. Yeah.
But I love Ray Mills. God bless him. I
Yeah.
think about him all the time. So I know that part.
Kudos to Ray.
So the picture of my wife and my wallet's doing me no good.
So
Yeah,
wait,
you
are you
get rid of
saying
it.
so Neil, are you saying the secret to winning JV Trios or to winning anything in bowling, I get a picture of Kyle's wife?
Yeah, Mark's wife's picture in my wallet does a lot for me, so I don't know. I like looking at it. I like looking at Vicky's picture. So.
Oh, hey, Mark, does Vicky listen to our podcast?
No, she doesn't.
Damn it. Oh.
Okay, so Chris, sorry, I know. So wait, hold on. So as I was referring to Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr., you're like, who? I assume you're saying who is that? Who are those people? Right?
Yeah,
Oh my
and the
God.
movie.
In the movie. Come on, it had Roger Moore, it had Jamie Farr, it had Terry Bradshaw. I mean, come on, man.
Yep.
It
keep
had
on
Burt
talking.
Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. It had Farrah Fawcett.
He's
I
asking
know
you if
who
it was in black and white.
Burt Reynolds is. I know who Burt Reynolds is.
Reynolds with an S.
Reynolds,
Reynolds,
yeah.
like
I know,
Roddy
I know
Reynolds.
him. I know him. Mm-hmm.
We may have to get a senior division in the JV trios, okay? Let's make a senior division.
Oh man. But yeah, so you guys ended up winning the league. Tracy has agreed to do another trophy for us. She did a really awesome trophy for us in the fall. She agreed to do another one, and we're going to name it after her. So it's going to be the Tracy Howell Award that goes to the winners of the league. So the summer ended. You guys will be presented that on Tuesday. So I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I will display it proudly at the house.
I feel like it's like a Jeopardy, right?
No, it's from Price is Right.
You got it.
Price is Right.
Beat Mark's picks. Just recapping last week, Chris is making a run. He was 4-2-1, one of the best records for him over the weeks.
How about that?
Yeah, Lee 5-1-1.
Dang, I'll take it.
Myself 5-1-1, and Kyle 5-1-1.
But Chris was still in last, you're saying?
Chris was still in last, but he's on the plus side for the first time.
So hold on, Mark. You and Chris both would have had no losses, but a tie if you had just picked We Deliver.
He'd have had
That's
no
what you're telling
losses.
me?
Yes.
No
Yes.
Really?
losses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mark's
Yeah.
one
Even
loss.
more reason
Yeah.
never to pick against me. See?
Wow.
Thank you.
You know, but I did say it was going to be a close match. I thought it was going to be a
Okay.
close match. I
Well, that's
didn't.
fair.
No, I
He
didn't.
even
I
said
thought it was
that.
Yeah,
gonna be
I
a lot.
did.
I thought it was
Look,
gonna be a
we
lot.
can play that back. I said it's a tough one to pick. Kyle convinced me to go against you guys.
Kyle was no offense to Kyle. I love Kyle, but Kyle was the tipping point for my choosing because I didn't know what you're gonna get out of him.
Okay, the late league start helps Kyle immensely. As you noticed, I'm not sure he wore much UPS garb at all throughout the whole summer. So the simple
He
fact
didn't.
is he can actually go home, change, maybe even get a bite to eat, and then get to the lanes. But when we start early,
Yep.
he's got to wear the brown shorts, the brown socks. He's got to wear some of the UPS
Yeah.
stuff, and it affects
And
him.
then-
So,
It does.
And then his wife can't show up.
exactly.
Oh,
That's
and
right.
that
Yeah.
makes you bad. And that makes you bad. Oh my God, I should have put it together.
Well, he was
That's
geared
right.
up, though. He told me that he practiced a lot the week before. He was ready. I mean,
He
was
shot
ready.
690 on Sunday with Merchant and Ronnie Reynolds and Wayne Maxwell. Yeah.
He did. He told me that I think Mark 660 was low man for that day.
I was low man with 660 something. Yeah, low man with 668 or something.
Sounds like that same score on your high school team.
Oh, yes. Actually, very similar. That's good bowling.
I'm pretty sure I lost to you. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you won the
percentage
poker.
wise, I was 57%. You were 52%. Chris was 38.
Oh, moving on up. Moving on up.
And our guest flatted out at 48%.
Damn.
So the guests had how much more percent higher than Chris?
10.
10%.
And they had how many weeks less picking?
2.
Oh my God. No, they had maybe 3.
Oh,
I tell you, if we didn't count Camilla's picks that one week, they would be about 50%.
oh wow. So it has to do with Camilla, which is Chris's wife.
Yeah. I think she was, she might have been following his picks that week.
What's wrong with those Woodmansies?
Hey, we believe in people too much. Okay?
But, you know,
Well-
there wasn't one week that any of us went undefeated. Not one.
Yeah.
Like Neil said, if I had taken their team over the Lopez's,
It would have been the first no-loss week.
It would have been. Yeah.
And you would have had it, but you didn't pick your boys.
Yeah.
And we
Kyle
both
made
would
me-
have had it. We
Neil
both
showed
would have had
you.
it.
Kyle made me nervous.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, Kyle did.
I mean, I remember I voted for Neil and Kyle a couple of weeks ago before this week, and they both lost. They ended up losing.
We
so
did.
I'm like, I
That is
told
true.
myself I'm never going to vote for Kyle and Neil if Neil's here. So if Neil wasn't here, I would have voted for Kyle's team because okay, they're a win.
It was fun. Congrats goes to Mark. Mark is the man.
Good job,
Basically,
Mark.
get to
You
keep
won
the
your own
team
game.
name.
That's why this fall we'll put a little money on it.
I think so. I agree. And the names. You get to beat Mark's picks because you still have yet to be beaten.
And you know what? We do have to keep track of the Woodmansey Award.
Peyton was the last winner, and we got the trophy. I'm actually looking at it
In
right
a row,
now.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you know, I think he's
He
won
won
it
last
like
week.
he might have won it 3 or 4 times this year. He
Yeah.
could be up there tied with Chris on winning that thing.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to come up with something where we can keep track, like a wall of fame. Something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
know what? I'm almost thinking of talking to Trace. I'm almost thinking of having a kind of a plaque done where we can just carve in the name.
Because
every
these
week.
names need to be saved and etched in the annals of time.
Yeah.
There's
You
no
know, we could-
award quite like the Woodmansey Award.
Did you
I
say
wanted-
the annals of time? I'm not a fan of annals of time. Okay.
Yes.
As long as Neil Brady can win the Woodmansey Award, I'd be happy.
Oh, he hasn't won it yet. So
No.
you are wanting certain people to enter the Woodmansey Hall of
Yeah.
Fame, or basically
Yeah.
be a Woodmansey.
Ron Reynolds was one of it. Then he ended up winning it, so I'm happy with that.
So you've got
So-
like a hit list. So you want Neil on it. He's your number one.
Yeah,
then
Ron was
you
already
got Ron.
Ron is on it. He already had it.
Oh,
So
he
that's-
did. Oh,
Yeah, and
so
your-
you've
And
got
your
a-
buddy Ricky.
Yeah.
Rick, oh yeah, Ricky did. I remember his was almost
Yeah.
the highest ever. At wasn't it like 119?
Joey was another person. He won it.
We wanted to get him on the cast. Just unfortunately, timing was bad, and so we'll have to get him on maybe hopefully next time. So yeah, Joey was on it. I don't think I've got it though.
I've never got it.
I think
You
have to have a
almost
good
did.
game to get
You
on.
I
almost did,
almost
Mark.
did, but no, I almost did.
Almost
yeah,
did.
but I didn't get it. But yeah, I think we'll have maybe some sort of plaque, and we'll just with a picture of the golden balls, just put names in there each week.
So not if you got it, Chris, but how many times did you get the Woodmansey? Is it 3? Do you have the record?
Me? This year for the summer?
No,
Yeah,
ever.
for the summer.
When we first started.
For the
it, ever
summer,
since we
I
started.
had it. I had it once. My Camilla had it once, and my dad had it once this summer.
All the Woodmanseys got covered. I can't believe
All
it.
the Woodmansey got the
Wow.
Woodmansey.
If your name ends in Woodmansey, then you got it. I can't believe it.
But I'm telling you now, in the fall, I'm not getting it once.
I think I hear Mark saying he wants to put a
Yeah.
bet on that.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'll bet you.
Or how about who gets it
Put
first?
it this way. Yeah,
Who gets it
I'll bet
first?
you-
Who gets it first?
Yeah, I'll bet you that.
Oh.
Okay, so if I get it first, I give you $20. If you get it first, you give me $20.
Camilla just said, my wife just heard us say that. Camilla said Chris gets it first.
So wait a minute, is she putting money on it against you?
No, she's not.
I hear she's hiding the kids' piggy banks now.
Yeah, I heard that last fall the piggy bank system isn't going to be used again.
Just a flat 20.
Okay.
Because Mark, we're still doing our annual bet that
Yeah,
we
I
always
think-
do by placement, right? For $50.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, listeners, for coming back to hear our final podcast for the summer. Please come back for the fall to hear our season 3, so 1 of the fall league of JB Trios. Thank you, Neil, and congratulations on winning. Despite it was in motivation from me. Congratulations. You deserve. You bowled very, very well the last 3 weeks.
Thank you.
But yeah, please come back. If you do not come back, you'd be like Mark.
Averaging 181.
That's good. That was perfect. All
right, guys. Had a fun night.
Later. I'll be
All right.
safe. Congrats.
Take it easy.
See you then. Bye.
Thanks again, Neil.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Good job, Neil.
Bye, guys.